係，我哋咧依家喺呢個高田馬場嘅公園嗰度啊。咁咧，我哋啱啱就喺呢個新宿嘅運動場嗰度做完練習啦。不過咧，個運動場咧其實就唔拍得嘢嘅，所以我哋特登喺呢個公園咧都拍翻啲 action 俾大家睇。咁呢個時候咧，我就訪問一下 Tom 啦。究竟佢喺做呢個 suit actor 或者 stunt 上面咧有啲咩咁特別啊，或者佢啲經歷有啲咩可以分享俾大家知咧？係 Tom sir，唔該 let's go 呢個。
Hello, my name's Tom Constantine. I have no idea what he said.
咁咧喺2014年嘅時候啦，我知道你就嚟咗日本嗰度做 stunt 或者係呢個 suit actor 啦。咁但係我知道你本身係一個 game 嘅開發公司嗰度做工作嘅。咁有啲咩原因令到你過咗嚟呢個日本去做呢一個工作嘅咧？
Originally in the UK, I studied computer games at university, and then after that, I worked for a few different companies. And I'd always kind of wanted to go to Japan for like an extended amount of time. It was about, I want to say 27, 28, and I was working at one company that, I mean, it's been 12 years now, but I hated it. I absolutely despise the place. And then I remembered the working holiday visa. You can stay in Japan for 1 year, like no questions asked, it's quite easy. But the cutoff point is 30 years old. And so I decided, if I don't do it now, I'll never do it. So I decided, did that, and that was 11 years ago. And just by chance, I was an extra on a film set, and a stunt guy started talking to me in English. And like, in Japan, English isn't that commonly spoken, like that well. And he just started talking to me. It turned out he lived in Australia for 14 years. And we sort of became friends. And one day on Facebook, he posted, hey, does anyone want to train one day? And I messaged and I was like, hey, that sounds fun. Can I join? And now, yeah, I'm sitting here talking to you.
好啦，咁咧關於呢個拍攝嘅 tokusatsu 裏邊啦，咁我諗香港嘅觀眾最認識你嘅應該就係 Gitsu 裏邊嘅 John 啊。咁喺呢一個經歷裏邊咧，有啲咩趣事可以話俾大家聽咧？
I've got one funny story. So episode 7 or 8, I was dressed as a woman. That's probably one of my favorite episodes that we filmed. But originally when it happened, I got an email from the co-producer saying, when are you available for a costume fitting? And me, naively, was like, oh my God, I'm getting fitting for the gamer costumes. And like Bill, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be a camera. So replied to the email really quickly, like, oh, you know, I'm available. Basically, I just made myself open for forever. And I said, oh, by the way, you know, what is the costume? And I got an email back about 30 minutes later saying, oh, in the next episode, you're going to be dressing up as a woman. And I went, okay. The joke is that John thinks his costume is immaculate and like perfect, and like he thinks he's done a really good job in his costume. And they also let me pick the dress. That was one thing I was really happy about. They had a bunch of dresses, and I said, oh, you know, this is the one that I want. I look like a 1950s housewife. And I was like, this is the one. But it ended up working out in the end because I got to wear the gamer gear and Henshin. So I was happy. But I didn't have a fitting for it. The way that I found out that I was going to transform the episode. Right, so I now have to tell another story. When I get my script, I would go to the Toei office, and it's in a little box, and I take my script, it's in a little envelope and stuff, and really I can't read it outside of the office. So what I would usually do is get it, say hello to everybody, thank you, get it, and then I would hide in a corner and I would just like skim through the pages, just like, where's John, where's John, where's John? But that day I didn't, and I was in the elevator and I was like, da, 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 da. And then Ben and John find their core IDs, and then there's a flashback of when they were riders, and like, but no one told me. I have no idea what was in the script until I was in the elevator writing it. And then I was out in the street with the script, and I was like, I don't know, I can't tell anyone. And Michael, who plays Ben, he was working that day. So I was messaging him saying, well, when you get off work, give me a call, we need to talk. And so I snuck into the back alley where there was nobody, and I just sat with the script and I was just reading, it's episode 14, I think it's the episode. Yeah, so there was more work going into me being in a dress than there was me being in a gamer costume to transform.
見到咧喺一個特攝嘅世界裏邊咧，你都做過好多作品啦。咁包括有 Flash 嘅20週年電影啦，咁同埋咧仲有一個係 Power Ranger， 即係我哋香港所謂嘅美版戰隊啊。咁呢一樣嘢對你嚟講咧係有啲咩經歷啊？可以話俾大家聽咧
？I mean, it is a dream come true to be able to work on those projects. but I'm quite a technical person. Like I really like to know the ins and outs. Like how does it get filmed? How do they do something? Not just, I mean, it's great seeing these suits or these actors up close and personal. But on set, being professional, how was the suit made? Who did that? Like who's the sound guy? That kind of stuff I a little bit more interested in. Like I love watching the shows, but then I also look at the credits and I'm like, oh, who's this person? And I sort of on set kind of trying to introduce myself to people or try to have a conversation. Like I'm very talkative on set, and I'm told like I can be a bit annoying. And why you shake your head at that part?
係啊，因為有時喺拍攝上邊咧，我哋喺香港可能比較多偈傾啊，有時都會借住呢啲拍攝嘅情況啦，可能電影啊或者劇集啊，都會了解下其他劇組需要嘅嘢咯。咁但係日本上面嘅拍攝咧，我哋真係唔知啦。咁即係多謝你話俾我哋香港嘅觀眾知道喺日本嘅拍攝世界係點樣。咁關於咧平套演員上邊啦，其實你作為一個專業嘅平套演員，喺你嘅動作同埋呢個 acting 嘅演技上邊，咁你都有一定嘅技術先至可以發揮到，同埋成為一個工作啦。你做一個 performer， 你係有一個 professional 嘅態度啦。咁除此之外，你有冇啲乜嘢係覺得好緊要嘅元素嘅？你認為呢一樣嘢係喺你 suit actor 裏邊係好需要到，而令到你可以繼續去做得更好
？I like to say like being professional is like if you're on time, you're late. Being a professional means you do have to get there a little bit early to get ready and prep yourself. But it's not just about going to set. While on set, you have to be aware of what's going on, because it might not be your scene, you might have nothing to do with it, but whoever's performing like needs your assistance as well. So if they'll be fighting an actor, the actor's probably not there because he's getting makeup, costume, or asleep. So they will need somebody to practice with them. They'll need someone to help with the mats. Maybe they're doing something wrong, but they don't realize. So you can sort of help them and say, oh, you know, maybe you need to change this and change that. It's a very team effort. If you're just standing and watching, you're not really helping with the team. And so I think that's the biggest thing. If you want to be a stuntman, that's probably the main thing I'll tell people. Don't just wait for orders. Like you have to proactively do things.
頭先啱你講嗰個咧，關於片場嘅世界咧，呢樣嘢就真係非常之明白，因為我哋喺香港做工作咧，好多時候譬如可能 call 06咧，我哋一般嚟講都係早幾個字或者早半個鐘去到就 stand by，即係着好多關於啲 pad 啊、剩啊去 stand by 定先，睇下指導有啲乜嘢安排。同埋我哋亦都係即係我哋香港嘅世界裏邊咧，好多時候一個專業態度咧，就係去準備晒成件事，去幫成件事運作，咁先至係你嘅工作之一咯。即係呢樣嘢我都真係非常非常認同你所講嘅 professional 嗰個工作態度。咁關於你嘅演出上邊咧，如果譬如假設喺你嘅演出機會唔係話成日都每一日都有機會去拍攝啊，或者每一日都有機會演出嘅。咁你有啲乜嘢動力令到你去 keep on 住你嘅練習，保持翻你嘅水準呢？
I mean, times like that, it really sucks. Like, honestly, like it sucks. I'm sure you've been in the same position. You feel really deflated. Like why bother? The phone isn't ringing. No one's asking you for jobs. But it's a good time to try and work on your own projects. I mean, even just going and just getting friends together and training, like the endorphins of just like going out and exercising is really good energy. Like it's a good time to also catch up with people that maybe you haven't seen for a while. Not just friends, but I mean like stunt related people, or just see how they're doing, because maybe not that they've forgotten you, but maybe they also have something coming up later that they think, oh, you know, oh, Tom's just messaged me, and then in the future, like, oh, I can ask Tom to help with this or something. But yeah, just get out and go exercise, because yeah, in those non-busy times, it sucks.
其實喺香港嗰個演出機會都好少，我諗呢個情況世界各地都發生緊啦。而我哋嘅 action team 包括我自己喺呢個香港嘅動作工作咧，都唔會話成日都有，但係我都係會 keep 住叫我哋嘅學員啊、我哋嘅成員啊，一定要 keep 住練習，保持翻嗰個水準，即係唔可以話因為你嘅演出好少而 你嘅技術好差，應該話係你擺時間落去，就係我哋香港有句説話叫台上1分鐘，台下10年功。咁你喺日本咧幫過一個地區英雄啦，佢係嚟自英國嘅，就叫做圓桌騎士 Avalon。咁呢一個作品嘅角色啊，同埋呢個作品嘅內容裏邊咧，你係幫咗佢做咗啲乜嘢嘅崗位咧
？Well, I am the main suit actor for Avalon, and I also do the action directing as a whole as a series, which I thought was a really good idea because out of the sort of little group that we had at the start, I was the one with the most action experience. But trying to action direct and also be the main in the action scene is a terrible idea, and I don't recommend anyone do it. Because when you have the helmet on and then you film one shot and they play the scene for you, you can't see it. So if I'm watching a replay, I'm trying to watch it like here, and I can see it a little bit. So if we ever do another series or another show down the line, either suit actor or action director, you can't do both. It's ridiculous. But at the moment, we filmed and released season 1, which is available on our YouTube channel. Hopefully, it's in the comments. Yep. But at the moment, we're doing season 2. Episode 6 has come out. We've filmed 7, 8, and we're now starting to shoot 9. But we're kind of in the process of editing and doing visual effects. And I'm also doing the visual effects because I don't like having free time to sit and relax. Doing fairly well. Recently we were at Local Hero Festival, and compared to last year, we were introducing ourselves or handing out a flyer, and people were saying, "Oh, you're Avalon," like, "Oh, we watch you on YouTube," or "We've seen you here." So we're kind of like slowly getting, like, little by little, more popular. And we've got a really great team. And a friend of mine the other day told me it's his favorite set to work on because we have a lot of fun and kind of all support each other, and it's good. Everyone does a little bit of everything on set because I'm sure the same with you guys. You don't have a real hair and makeup person, so whoever does makeup, you just get them to do it. You know, it's independent filmmaking, but it's fun. And please watch us on YouTube and like and comment on every video, because algorithm is horrible. And it's down here. I'm going to be annoying. It's also up here, and now here, and now here, and back here again. Yeah, it's across our face.
円卓騎士アバロン。
但係我喺你嘅作品裏邊見過嘅動作啦，即係其實我覺得你去俾呢個時間出嚟咧，幫佢哋拍呢一個劇集，做一個 main 嘅 shoot actor 咧，其實你係好一個熱誠幫佢哋一齊做呢一件事。我哋做守護者都係，其實都係擺好多時間落去，包括自己工作啦，額外再去拍嘢啦，同埋加上你要不斷去練習，先至可以有一個好嘅 skill 去做表演嘅。咁我知道咧，你喺日本啦，建立咗一個 stunt team 啦，一個training 嘅 team 啦，就叫做rifle stunt team。咁其實呢一個 team 咧對你嚟講有啲咩核心價值啊，或者你有啲咩嘢係想宣揚俾佢哋知道嘅
To be honest, the main reason is because we're a bunch of foreigners, and same with any country, I suppose. The foreigner groups always kind of like come together, even just in neighborhoods and things like that. And it's kind of the same with us, that we just, you know, we can all speak English together. That's probably the main reason, that we can all speak English together, and then we're friends outside of doing it as well. And you know, there's kind of a sort of a lack of foreigners who can do action in Japan, and it seemed like a good idea that we all kind of pool our resources together. And now, usually what happens whenever they need a foreigner that can do action or needs stunts on a film, generally we're the people that get the phone call, because we've been doing it for so long and try to keep like a good reputation. And so we're kind of in a semi-good place right now. The only downside is that I speak the most amount of Japanese on our group, and so I'm now lumbered with doing all of the paperwork and taxes and invoices, and I hate it.
我都有好相同嘅感受，因為喺香港咧，其實中意特攝嘅人好多，或者中意Kamen Rider、Ultraman 嘅人好多，真係中意特攝嘅人好少，同埋真係會願意投身去做特攝創作啊，或者學點樣做 action 啊、shoot actor 都非常少。咁我哋依家有一班成員啦，其實佢哋都識嘅嘢可能唔多，咁我自己都要幫好多 帶領嘅工作啊。咁所以咧喺呢個位置上面其實都真係非常非常明白你嘅情況。不過我哋相信我哋兩個都會去堅持落去㗎啦。咁一個最後一個問題啦，因為香港嘅觀眾咧其實都好中意 Kamen Rider 呢個作品嘅。咁而喺香港都有播 Beast 呢個作品啦，相信佢哋都有睇過你嘅演出嘅。咁有啲乜嘢想同我哋香港嘅Rider 嘅 fans 去講啊？咁睇下你有啲咩可以話俾觀眾知道啊
？Well, I will tell you this. If you really want to be in Tokusatsu or be in Kamen Rider, you can do it because this moron from the UK, who's like too old and his body is breaking, has managed to do it. And not just once, like a few times. So it is entirely possible. Just come here and we'll hang out and we'll train together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, let's go.
Yeah.
Let more guy training.
Yeah. No, I'm too old. Too old to do it twice a day.
因為我哋今日都玩咗好耐，我哋好似由朝早9點鐘左右啦，就練到12點，咁啊大家都都玩得好開心啦，好多 action 啦，有 reaction， 又一齊做嗰啲體操動作啊，咁樣交流咗一啲香港啊或者係日本啊一啲唔同嘅動作同埋拍攝嘅技巧啦。咁我哋咧其實就嚟緊啦，都會仲有其他嘅 Suzuka 啊，或者係一啲動作指導都會做訪問嘅。咁我哋今次咧同阿 Tom 嘅訪問咧都完成咗啦。咁我哋就各位觀眾期待下一次嘅訪問啦。OK。
Yeah, what he said.
好，拜拜啦。
Oh, thank you. Bye bye.